Hi, this is Abe Wesley. That ain't even tells like a TI is. If you like my video, please get done and consider subscribing. I know I haven't done a video in a couple of days. I haven't been feeling well uh, with my sinus problem and my back going out on me for a couple of days, but I feel much better now. But anyway, the topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Nelly and Ashanti show. We belong together. I've been wanting to review this for a while, but there was so much going on with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and now that show is ended. I'm gonna start reviewing this show and also Hustle and Hard and Hustle in Houston and stuff like that. But back to this show. It started off. Episode one started off with the introduction of Nelly and Ashanti, where they showed all kind of flashback clips of when they met from the late '90s to the early 2000s to now. And so that was a little clip glimpse of what was going on. They were saying how Ashanti and Nelly met. I think it was 1999 when they first met, and then she went to that record label. I can think of the record label now. And she went to the record label, and she was the biggest pop star on that record label. And then he was already popping with his rapping, and he was in the industry. And I think it was either Nelly or Ashanti. I think it was Nelly said him and Ashanti met at somebody's party when they first met, and they kind of talked to each other and stuff back and forth. And then after that, I think Nelly said he broke up with one of his baby mamas or something like that. And then he started dating Ashanti for a little while, and him and Ashanti kind of broke up for the first time, and then they kind of got back together a second time, and then they broke up for a third time. And so Ashanti said that when she got ready to do the verses, because nobody was able to go outside and do the radio because it was kind of like the height of the pandemic, and so people were listening at music on the radio and streaming service and stuff like that. To make a long story short, Ashanti said they invited her to do the live performance on the verses. And so she was saying they told her that would she mind sharing the stage with Big Joe. She said, "Oh yeah, I know Big Joe. He's a rapper. He's my friend, stuff like that." She didn't mind. So she said after she did her first set, she said Fat Joe came on there and sung a song with her and rapped with her, and she was surprised. And then she said Fat Joe told her that he had a special guest that's gonna come. And she said, "Okay, yeah, special guest." She said when Nelly walked up on the stage, she was shocked, she was surprised. So she walked over to the other part of the stage because she said her and Nelly was not on good terms at that time. And she said uh, Nelly sung his verse on some kind of song, and Big Joe he came over there and tried to hug her. And she didn't hug him. And Nelly said, "Yes, you did hug me back." She said, "No, I didn't hug you back." She said, "You said you hugged me and you rubbed me on my back." And she said, "No, I didn't. You just thinking that." And Nelly told the producers, "Roll the tape back." When they rolled the tape back, they showed Ashanti hugging Nelly and rubbing on his back. You say, "See, I told you." He said, "Well, I don't remember doing it. I don't remember that." He said, "But you did." And then he was saying, right after that, we kind of made up and we kind of got back together. She said, "Oh yeah, you begged me on that stage." You said, "Yeah, I sure did." He said, "I've been down. I told you that we were better together." And he said, they had started dating back and forth and they wanted to take things slow. And he said, by the time, I think he said it was, I think he said it was in July of 2023, they found out Shantae was pregnant. And then by October or November of 2023, they had got married. And so they had secretly got married. They didn't let nobody know that they had secretly got married. Next thing you know, people started saying, "What's going on with Nelly and Ashanti? What's going on with Nelly Ashanti?" Ashanti went in some kind of interview and she was flashing a ring and showing the ring. And they showed the little interview part. And then I think it was an entertainment night. Then she said, "Yeah, her and Nelly had secretly got married." And she was promoting at that time she was promoting that that Motown Christmas special, and she was saying, yeah, they secretly got married, and she said she had some other news about they supposed to be starting a reality show, and that's when everybody was talking about, oh, they're gonna start a reality show, they're gonna be good, they're gonna be good, and so I said it's gonna be good too, and stuff like that, and so that was part one, episode one. Part two started off with part two started off with Ashanti and Nelly trying to figure out where they was gonna move, and Nelly said that he didn't want to move to New York because all of this stuff was in St. Louis, and she was saying, well, you know, I'm a New York girl, I'm a New York girl, I'm used to living in New York. He said, well, we're gonna have to figure this out. And she said, yeah, we're going to have to figure it out. He said, but I'll move to New York temporarily, you know, because we got stuff going on. Got business going. She said, oh, yeah, you're supposed to be going to some kind of festival concert and doing that and that. And what it is, I got some stuff going on. I got a private, I got a private thing going on too. And then my manager told me that they wanted me to do the Motown Christmas special. She said, I didn't know if I want to do that because I don't know if I want to be with my baby that long, He said, you're going to have to figure it out. And so she went and talked to her mama, and she told her mama, said, yeah, I know this is a great opportunity for me for this Motown thing. But she said, but I don't know. I don't want to be with my baby too long. You know, I don't want to be with my baby too long and stuff like that. She said, well, Ashanti, you know, you know that everything's up with you and everything's with you. I'm gonna go by what you said. If you don't feel like that you need to go this Motown stuff and do this Motown stuff, she said, I'm just saying, I really don't want to be away from my little baby that long of time, that long of time. She said, well, we can see if we try to work something out, Ashante. So she did a couple of little performances, and then they showed Nelly and Ashante going to this mattress place to pick out a mattress. And Nelly said, "Ooh, it's very soft, but really nice." She said, "Oh yeah, it's very nice." And see, I found these people on the internet, and they're very good with beds and stuff. I like soft beds, you know, man. I have to have soft beds to sleep in and stuff. And they said, well, "How much this bed gonna cost?" He said, $3,000. She said, well, how much is this one? And he said, you ain't got nothing cheaper than that. He said, well, we can kind of work you. And they said, oh, no. I ain't paying no $3,000 to $6,000 for no bed. We need to go somewhere else. And then so, uh, and then so, um, Shante said, Nelly, you do realize that this bed is soft and stuff. He said, yes, it's very soft and stuff, but you might get these people back that bed. And then later on in the episode, Ashante said that she did buy the bed. I think she bought the bed for like two or 3,000. But anyway, that scene was kind of cute. And then she was talking to a hairdresser. She was telling the hairdresser that she got a couple of gigs that she don't mind doing because they're kind of in state. But she was saying she's so concerned about the Motown one because she was saying she didn't know if she wanted to fly because of stuff that was going on with COVID and all the germs around the baby. And the baby was just a newborn. She said she didn't want to take a bus because the bus would be too long for her and the baby. She don't know. And then the hairdresser said, well, you worked something out, you figured out. She said, yeah, and I might have to bring the babysitter with me. And the babysitter said, yeah, if you take the plane or take the bus, I probably will have to go with you to help you out. She said, yeah. And she said, plus I want to have enough breast milk, for the baby if I do decide to go. And so next thing you know, the next scene they showed her talking to Nelly about it, and he said, it's a great opportunity, Ashante, but like I'm telling you, it's up to you. You say you don't want to fly with the baby, and you really don't want to go on the bus. Well, how you gonna get there through a taxi or something? She said, I don't know. I just don't know. He said, well, I know it's a great opportunity, but if you don't want to leave the baby, it's up to you. He said, but you once you sign the contract, once you sign the deal, it's kind of hard for you to get out. She said, yeah, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no problem. I'm going to talk to my mom about it. So she went back talking to her mom about it. Her mama said, well, we did sign the contract, and I'm gonna see if there's some way we can get out of it and stuff. Because she said at first you were just supposed to do your little opening act. She said, but now they want you to close the show. And she said, oh no, I can't close the show because that don't have me missing my plane one too much. She said, well, I'm gonna talk to Debbie. They talking about Debbie. I said, I'm gonna talk to Debbie and see if we can work something out. But she said, if you don't really want to do it, we could just cancel the whole thing. But she said 9 times out of 10, and we cancel it, It might come back on us, and they might come back on us and want their money back and stuff like that. She said, Ashanti, you better think real good. The next thing you know, Ashanti mama was telling Ashanti that Debbie Allen said they could work something out where she don't have to close. She can just go and do her stuff. So she came out there, but she said she decided to leave her baby and the babysitter there. So she decided to ride the bus. So she was on her tour bus, and they was talking about on her tour bus. And then she said it wasn't as bad as she thought it was. The Motown show, and she liked it. And she came back. She came back from the Motown show and stuff. And she came back to her house. And so Ashanti was telling Nelly that she wanted to get everybody together so they could see the baby, his side of the family, her side of the family. So they had a big old thing about the side of the family. But I didn't know Nelly had two grown daughters before he had this baby with Ashanti. They talked about that. And they talked about one of his oldest sons was trying to be a rapper like him. And they talked about his extended family. And one of Nelly's daughters said they didn't like Ashanti at first when she first met Ashanti because Ashanti wasn't her mouth, but she said after a while, her and Ashanti's relationship was a little bit better. And after Big Family Reunion, that was the end of episode 2. So I did like episode 1 and 2. Maybe I'll get back to 3. That's all I have for this video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even, well, the show is really good. This is A. Wesley. The ain't who tells it like a TI is. I am out.